are you? It's nice to see you again, Miss McGarry of Money Talk. My name is Wilson Charles Mason, and I'm 65, and I'm live. I'm here to see you today. I've got news for you. This is the second time around. This is good.
Welcome to Financial Fix. I'm your host, Teresa McGarry, and as you've heard, we're here with Wilson Mason. Welcome back.
Thank you.
So what's this news?
Wilson is my first name. I'm going to start this out by telling you guys what has happened along the way. As you all know, I've been going by, my name is really Wilson Charles Mason, and I was going by Chuck for a long, long time, predominantly 64 years of my life, until something happened, and I started going by Wilson because that's what my mom named me. I think we talked about my mom last time, how she had passed, and I wanted to honor her by going by my first name, but it never stuck. Wilson is alive. Wilson is well. Chuck, he's here, but he's not active. And there's a reason why he's not active, is because he wasn't real. He wasn't honest, he wasn't truthful, he wasn't self-sufficient, and he wasn't accountable. He said all the good things, but he meant well, but he just didn't know how. When he turned into Wilson, things began to happen fast, real quick. Things like family, things like jobs, things that only God could take care of. No man can take care of the things that's been taken care of for me. I'm blessed today. And again, the story from the beginning, at the end of this is real. Everything that I'm about ready to tell you has happened. And really, I was overwhelmed when I first recognized it, but being, should I say, being ready for the change, being ready to understand what the change meant in my life and meant to all those that love me and care for me. It's a big change. And I embrace it today more so than I ever have, only because there's more to come. There's a lot more to come, and I'm looking forward to it because I know that it's something that I should have been doing a long time ago. But again, I'm not upset at that point. I'm just kind of, I'm not saying upset. I'm just saying I'm just kind of bewildered that I never caught it fast enough. And even though I've had trial and error all the time, do this, go here, do this, to try to get it, it never seemed to fit. But the book of the Bible, and I'm not going to Bible thump on anybody because it affects different people different ways. But if all of you all are Christians, and if some of you are not, but this guy is a real guy, and he turned into something that was really, really good. In the book, Saul was a tyrant, hated Christians, hated people. He tried to run things his way without doing it the right way. And Saul was he was like Wilson, or he was like Chuck, should I say?
I was gonna say, yeah.
He was like Chuck. He wanted it his way. But when Saul became Paul, all things became new. And Chuck became Wilson. Again, all things became new. I'm here to tell you that, you can put your life in perspective by looking at the book. That's the only book that I read that really has any emphasis on it. There's all kinds of books you can read, but when you find something that reads about you, it tells where you've been, it tells what you're doing, and also tells you where you need to be at, in order for you to be self-sufficient, accountable, and responsible. And those 3 words I used before, but they're so real today that it's like it's like a birthday every time I use them, because every time I use them, something happens good. Something happens real good. And I'm just telling you, I'm 65. I don't want any more birthdays to make me go real fast, but I mean, they're good enough. I'm happy today. I mean, my job was through a temp service. And this is the start of it. And I worked 3 different jobs before I got the one that I got now. And I just kept trying. And I kept trying and trying. Like, lo and behold, there was 10, I think there was about 10 people from this temp service that sent me on my 3rd time to a job. And due to my physical abilities and not being able to do certain things, the mind wanted to do them, but the body couldn't. And so I kind of just embraced the moment, and I got a job working at a place in New Central Kansas called Stu's Printing. Now, not most of the people there are Hispanic, speak no English, but for me, it was a challenge, and I'm still there. The other 9 aren't. And so I'm kind of blessed because they all like Wilson. They don't know Chuck. They don't know him. They don't know Chuck. They just know Wilson. They all love Wilson. It's supervisors. They're catering to me. They're helping me become even more so intellectually able to communicate with a different creed, a different race, speaking some kind of language that I don't understand, but I'm trying, and it's fun. It's fun, but I don't get mad because I don't understand. I just ask questions, and then they laugh, and they're so funny, but they know that I want to learn. I never have been challenged like this, but this is just something that God gave me. If He never puts more in you than you can handle, I'll say that to you. So evidently I must be handling it pretty good, because I'm still there, and they all like me, and we all have fun, and my job is secure. I could probably work there for the rest of my life. That's what I've been told. So, I mean, as long as I can breathe, as long as I can get up and drive to work, I have a job. And literally, I really don't have to work. I'm on retirement, Social Security, and all that stuff, but I have to stay busy, because if I don't stay busy, I won't be fulfilling my goals or what I'm supposed to be doing, and that is giving it back. Now, I started learning how to give it back when I met this lady right here. I thought I was giving it back earlier in my recovery time, but at the same time, I was only giving back just enough to get what I wanted, not what I needed. And when that happens, you kind of, it's selfish. And so you really have to be more giving, willing. I say, what's going on with me right now, I can never be doing what I'm doing right now unless I gave it away. I could not have what I have unless I gave away what I had. And that doesn't mean materialistic wise, but I do what I have to do in order to be able to do that. And it seems like the more I give away, the more it comes right back at me. It's like it continues to grow. And I mean, I sleep easy at night. I rest easy. I really, my kids, they're all on board now with me. They've saw a change, but I'm very careful with that because they've seen it before.
Seen a change, and
They see the change.
that didn't last, maybe?
No, it didn't last. It was the facade. It was just something to get back in so I could go out there and do what I thought that I wanted to do again. But this time is a lot different. I love my children. I love my grandkids, and I get to see them. I get to hold them. I get to watch them without anybody being around me. That's that. I can only take so much of that. I can only take so much.
Did they
of
wear out, Grandpa? Is that what you're saying?
They're rough, but they love me. It's not because of, it's out of love and care and concern for somebody that they want in their life. And I need them because it keeps me grounded and it makes me appreciate what God's given me. He's given me a chance. We all have opportunities if we embrace them. We all do. There's not one of us out there in this world today that can't say that I don't have an opportunity, because you do. It all depends on how you take it and how you use it, and then what you do with it. I mean, it's not about, a lot of people think it's about how much money you have or this and that. Well, you know, before I started this journey, I didn't have a penny. And honestly and stuff, you know, I'm not saying that I don't have any money right now, and it's not about the money. It's about what you do with it. I can be happy with less as long as I did it the right way. And right now I'm happy. I'm full, fat, big. You know what I mean? It goes without saying. I mean, I have what I need. I do what I have to do, and I get what I want. Again, my children are key to me. I love all my kids. My daughter, Brittany, and I've talked to Teresa about Brittany. Brittany's a phenomenal woman. She's young. She's 32. She has MS, but she's a fighter, and she makes me fight. Because if my daughter can do what she does, then I know I can do what I need to do.
And she's the youngest of the three?
Oh, yeah. And, yeah, she is the queen. Yes, she is. But she kind of made this whole situation with me to come back and to be where I'm at today. He made me do this on my own. But with the help that I've had, without my family helping me, not saying that they didn't help me, but they just wanted me not to have a crutch to call in all the time to fall on them, because I had to stand on my own at some level of time to know that I could do this and not rely on somebody else to do it for me. Now, undoubtedly in your life, you're going to need help. Everybody does. At one point in time, you're going to need help, unless you just got $1 million and you can do this, you can do that. Well, nobody has $1 million, I know. The thing is, I'm very, very fortunate to have my health the way it is today. I just went last night to an event that was in a building that I wanted to referee a basketball game in. It's brand new. It's out in the eastern Kansas City. I can't remember the name of it, but it was really nice. It holds about 6,500, and it would have been a great place. It would have been a great place to work a basketball game. And they've had high school state finals things there. So I knew that I was thinking back in the day when I was then, and I could run and everything. I would be on the court. But you know, those are the things that make me go. I believe I can do it. I'm just getting things in perspective in order to do it. Not everything is for everybody, but once you think that, if you think you can, you can. If you don't think you can, you won't.
Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Because if you think you can't, then your behaviors, your thoughts, your actions, your choices will all be towards the I can't do it.
Yeah.
Therefore, you can't do it. Where if you think you can, then your actions, your choices, your behaviors is all going to be towards I can do it, which will make it more likely for you to be successful.
And then you're trying to figure
Yep.
out, put things in perspective of how to acquire, how
Yep.
to accomplish the goal.
This is for the month of November, which is Thanksgiving. So what all
Yeah.
positive, thankful things do you
There's a lot of things.
go
There's
for it?
there's a lot of things. I'm thankful for God, really. And God's always going to be there for you. You know, it depends on if you're there for him. He's waiting. He's waiting for you. So, like I told you guys, my very first time I talked out here, three most important things: God, sobriety, and family. I've said that before, and it's real. I can never have any of it. I can never have any of it if I use any foreign substance stuff to make me think anything different than the way I'm thinking right now. Because it happens, if it does happen, then I'm not responsible for my actions because there'll be something else running me. And I don't want anything to be in control of Wilson Charles Mason again, except for Wilson Charles Mason. And good people like Mr. McGarry and Mike Van Black and John Moneygrave and my job. Those people right there, they will tell you if you ever talk to them, because they know, they've seen. And really and truly, you know, it's a blissful and peaceful time. Thanksgiving is in order right now. They all love Chuck, but they love him, but they didn't know him. But that's all they did know was him. But Wilson, they would really love him, and they do today. And I've explained to all of them about the transformation of Wilson. And at first, they think it's funny because Wilson is a joke name because of how Wilson's used. Tom Hanks used it in Castaway with the volleyball. Wilson.
That's what my younger daughter's volleyball is named, is Wilson.
Yes. Yeah. So I
Mhm.
mean, you know, it goes.
It's because it's printed on there, not,
Yes,
you know, not because of the.
well, he didn't.
but
That's all.
yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, he didn't have no name for him, but Wilson. So that's what he called him. So, but me, I mean, I'm the 24th of November is going to be here in a few days, and I'm lucky to be able to say that I'm a free man, that I'm going to be able to eat with my family, that I'm going to be able to see all those I just named. Hopefully I'll see John on the Zoom, and then Mike is here. He goes to my church. Reese is here. Grandkids. And they're very thankful for this whole thing with me. You cannot imagine how I sleep at night. I rest so easy right now. Like she was telling me about Thanksgiving. There's a lot of things that involve Thanksgiving. Like I journal. I journal every day. I journal every day. I'm a day behind on journaling right now, but at the same time, I can't journal for today until tomorrow morning because today's not over. So what I do is I reflect on what happens, what was said, how I felt, who I spoke to, what were the repercussions behind the action, and what happened. And then I did say earlier how I felt. You know, feelings count a lot. Your feelings are you. Your feelings they're genuine. You know, I'm 65 and I've said it before, but you know, I cry a lot. And a lot of people don't understand why you cry. They ask why you cry, and I says, well, the person says, man, that's not a manly thing to be crying, man, all the time and stuff. You know, and I says, you're not a man if you don't cry. That's what I told him. And that's a serious statement because see, like I feel, not just for me, but for other individuals that have pain and suffering and stuff, you know, and that really, the compassion that I have for them lets me know that I'm feeling something that I'm supposed to feel and that I'm doing something I'm supposed to do to show them that there is a way that people do care. You know, we all have our differences. We all do. But at the same time, you know, I'm no better than Teresa. I'm no better than the next guy next door. All I'm doing is trying. And I'm succeeding because I'm willing. I'm willing to do what it takes to be the 3 words: self-sufficient, accountable, and responsible, and honest.
Well, and you're willing to learn, because I run into that a lot where somebody, they think they know everything, they think they've tried everything, that there's nothing that can be done, and they're not, the term I use is they're not coachable. Because if they're not willing to learn and they're not willing to listen and they're not willing to try new things, then definition of insanity comes to mind. They're doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. It don't happen that way.
I think I've been there. I think I've been.
Oh, I think I've been there a few times myself.
I've been right there. It's the same thing over and over. You're right.
Guilty.
Yeah.
Been there, done that.
Been there, yeah. I don't want to go that way. I don't want to do that. I don't want to do that anymore. I mean, you think that you're doing something, but the same results are going to happen again and again and again. So you just, you know, when you get done, they say in AA and NA, are you sick and tired of being sick and tired?
Oh, yep, I've heard my dad say that one too.
They say that a lot.
I don't know where he got it from, but I've heard him say that.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? And honestly, you know, I'm there, but at the same time, I'm not tired of how I'm living right now. And if I am tired, it's because, like, I busted my feet today. I worked, and I spent time with my kids last night.
That's a different kind of tired. Though.
Yeah,
that's not the kind of tired they're talking about.
No, I know.
They're talking about sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yeah, but it's the epitome of doing something that you don't need to be doing. My life today is so much different that really I look forward to the next day. I look forward to the God waking me up so I can be able to be an asset, not a liability to a lot of different people. I run an Oxford House now. I'm the president of the Blackwood Oxford House. I just became that.
Congratulations. I knew that was coming.
Yeah, we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming when we got there. We just had to wait.
Yeah, because you've been in that position before.
Yeah.
So I knew you were capable. You just
some people fear that because of right living.
because you're gonna hold them accountable.
I am
and make them follow
definitely,
the rules,
I'm gonna make them do what they're supposed to do.
and they don't want to do
And
that.
they don't want to do that, but at the same time, it's not my rules, it's Oxford rules. That's all I'm going by.
Well,
I have to tell them all, I says, you guys gotta understand something. I'm not here against you. I'm not against none of you. I'm not here to hurt you. All I'm here for is just to follow the rules and apply the principle. The
well, and
principle's always-
you want a safe, healthy place
I
for
don't
you to live, and you can't do that when the other residents are not following the rules.
If you have,
That makes it not safe for you to make progress and be successful.
there's more, yeah, and then you have to watch. The time that you spend on trying to correct the negativity that's there takes away from the time that you could be doing something positive
Mhm.
for the people or for the whole. My thing right now is I just don't get too caught up in it because they're gonna catch themselves. They will, they usually do. Everybody that does something that thinks they're getting away with it, I was one of them. I thought I was slick. slick.
Chuck thought he was slick.
Well,
Wilson doesn't.
No, Chuck was. Yeah, he sure was. If you talk to Mike Medina, Mike Medina was my counselor at Therapeutic Community in
New Century.
New Century, yeah. And Mike Medina would tell you, he said, "Oh, well," he called me Wilson. He called me Wilson. When he says Wilson, he says, "You think you're getting away with something, don't you?" I said, "Oh," he said, "Yeah, you do." Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. He says, "But see, you can't get away from yourself. You know what's right. You know what's wrong.
Mhm.
You know, you portray that you don't know, but you do, only because you want to be one of the people. You want to be one of the people that ain't cool, so they say. So Wilson's pretty cool today. I'm telling you that right now. Wilson's a good guy.
That's
He's
another,
cool.
another line from a country song that I like a lot. Whatever you do today, you have to sleep with tonight. Yeah. What, it may seem cool or whatnot, but you know what you did and whether or not you did the
Absolutely.
right thing. And you can lie to everybody else, but you can't lie to yourself because you can try, but deep down in there,
This is the transformation. This is why I know Wilson is live. I know why Chuck is not here. I know this. This happened. What I'm ready to tell you, this is real. Don't think it won't happen to you because it's going to present itself to you. I was in Price Chopper on Santa Fe and Parker. I had $100 bill, and I was going to buy a money order and something else, and go back to my house. I bought the money order and I bought something else, and I gave the lady $100 bills. The bill came to $70-some. I gave her the 100. The lady gave me back $80-some. Handed it to me. At that point in time, in my hand, I had practically all my money except for $18 after 100. But then I looked at her and I looked right at her and I says, "Ma'am, do you want to count that?" And she says, "Did I make a mistake?" Or I says, "Please just count it." She looked right at me. And so like I'm standing there and she counts, she says, "Oh." And then I said, "Did I save you?" And then she said, "Yeah." And I said, "No, I didn't save myself." And every time I go in there, I see her, and she's very thankful. That was a point. That was a turning point for me because, like, I would have taken that money if it was Chuck.
Chuck would have taken the money.
Yeah, Chuck would have had it.
He probably saved her job for still being off that far.
Yeah,
that would have been a lot. That would have looked like she was up to something.
Yeah. So when that happened, I knew what was going on inside of me right then and there, and I told several people. I had to tell several people that because I had to hear from them that I was doing right and doing what I was supposed to do. Really, you don't need to. I didn't really need to tell anybody.
You weren't trying to toot your horn. You were just getting the affirmations, the confirmation that you made the right choice.
Well, I haven't made right choices a lot. I made bad ones, seriously bad ones. Some that has cost me my freedom, some that's cost me my family, some that's cost me my friends, some that's cost me all that I had. So, I mean, it was a learning experience, but it was a good one because, like, I did the right thing. I did the right thing. Wilson did the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
Wilson did the right thing, and Wilson went to sleep that night. Wilson can go to Price Chopper right now and don't have to worry about anything. I just feel like I'm a different person only because, like, I'm true to myself. I can sleep knowing that I don't have anybody looking for me. I don't have the police looking for me because I stole something this or did that. I know I'm going to get to see my kids. I know I'm going to get to see my friend Teresa. I'm going to see my friend John, Mike. I'm going to go to church. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I journal about it too. I journal about it, and really and truly, though, that's a highlight in the journal because, like, the people that were involved, they don't know that I write about them. There's a lot of people in the books that in my journal that don't have any idea that I wrote about them. None.
I've never read what you wrote, but I know I'm in there because you tell me on a regular basis.
Yeah, you're in there. You're in there. You're in there.
Probably a few times like, "Yep, she scolded me again."
No. That switch, it would have been all been bad news. But these things are for people. I don't know about people. I know about me. If you guys want what I have and you're willing to go to any length to get it, then you'll just turn it over and just start doing what's right and just try to don't be so naive to think that you got it made, because if you think you got it made, you don't. You're always on. I'm always on point. I'm always on point. I'm always on it so that I don't make that mistake again. I don't want to go that road. I want to be able to say, well, I did what I was supposed to do. Can you do what you're supposed to do? That doesn't mean I'm going to hold that against you. It just means that, are you going to hold yourself accountable so that you can be who you're supposed to be? So you can be who you are to your kids, to your family, to the ones that love you, care about you. Are you going to be able to be the one that's going to be there when they need something? I'm going to be the one that's going to be there for my children when it's all said and done. And they know that because I'm showing it. I know that today. I don't need no pat on the back for that, because that is what I'm supposed to do. I'm a dad. I'm a daddy. I'm a grandpa. I'm a brother.
An uncle,
I'm an uncle too.
nephew,
So a nephew. I got all kinds of people, and yeah,
cousin.
that's what I am. I have a lot of responsibility. We all have responsibilities. We just all must take heed to our responsibilities and don't run from them. Because like when you run from them, you're running from yourself. You run from what reality really is. I'm blessed today. I really am. I didn't know what was going to happen this one, because this one here is a little bit different than the first. I know today, when I was thinking about when I came over here to do this, what I was going to say. I knew already I had to tell you about my journal. I knew that.
So tell me on the journal, okay, so you talked about you journal every day and what types of things you put in there, like what happened, who you talked to, how it made you feel, consequences, choices you made, choices you didn't make, whatever. How does that help you? And do you ever go back and reread things, and what is the impact of that?
Well, man, as you asked me if I go back and read, I do. I go back periodically. After I write them down, I don't look at them for a minute. I have them. They're at my disposal. I have them from 2017.
Yeah, you were telling me how big the stack was. Yeah.
I got from 2017, and they're in there. And then when I go back and read them, I'm saying, do you really remember? And that makes me remember. I didn't really think that they say that you're going to start forgetting when you get older. I do forget. I'm telling you, with God lets, I forget. I don't remember half the stuff sometimes. But when I read those papers, and I told somebody about the paper, they asked me, said, well, where'd you get all this paper that you're writing on? I said, it's scratch paper. It's paper that people throw away. I could never tell you what's on the front of it. I just know what's on the back because I write it. I write it. And they said, well, where'd you get it? I said, out of trash. People, when I was in prison, I got paper from trash. I was writing. I was writing and writing and writing. I don't know if I said this to you guys last time, but I'm thinking about writing a book. And a lot of people ask, well, have you started? You got a name or whatever? I think I told you. But Self-Afflicted is the book that I'm going to write, because everything that's happened to me is not because of what somebody else did. It's what I did. And I can't blame the police. I can't blame the judges, the lawyers, the people. Those things that happened to me is because, like, I, Wilson Charles Mason, self-inflicted myself, thinking that I was all that in a bag of chips. And next thing you know, the bag of chips was empty, punched up, and it was no good. So to me, but I learned from that. Somebody can read from this, whoever, if they do. I don't know what I'm going to do with it if I don't write a book. When I pass away, somebody's going to be looking at it. What did he write all this stuff for? What did he do with all this? Why? Why? What's it? What? Who is this? Who's that? It's all a part of my walk. God says, He directs me. I mean, After all of the journals that I wrote, I always have something at the very end that says God is directing me here. And I thank you for today, for letting me see it for what it is, and give me the opportunity to write about it. At the same time, to give me an opportunity to feel how I felt, and then what I wanted to feel like. It's got do's, don'ts, shoulds, and should nots. It's got acquaintances, relationships, family. It's the real deal. It's the real deal. I don't know too many people that would talk about their personal, but I mean, I can talk about it, because if I can talk about personal things, that means that I own them. They can't hurt me. They can't hurt me anymore. And I'm not afraid to talk about it, because see, like when I talk about them, that means I own them, like I just said.
And if you've talked about it, then nobody can use it.
They can't use it against
They can't
me.
use it against
Can't
you,
use it against
or,
me. Nothing.
yeah,
Nothing.
because it's like, well, it's like you can't go tell Teresa, oh, I'm gonna go tell Teresa blah, 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 blah about you. It's like,
know
go
about
ahead,
it.
she already knows.
I know about it.
You know, it's not,
Yeah.
it's not a threat.
No, I feel like you know, like I said, you know, I've been through some things, and really truly, you know, not all of it's been good. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I'm speaking clean. Far from that. But I can tell you just like this.
I wanted to ask you, did you share about that book? Was it Who Ate My Cheese? Who Moved My
Oh
Cheese?
boy, what? Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to hear about that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you share that? I think
Yeah.
that might be good for a lot of people to hear.
Who moved my cheese, or who ate my cheese? Who was brought?
I was hoping you remembered what you was.
Give me Christmas. I got
Sorry.
this. No. This book, if I suggest anybody that's trying to become a different person, but the better person, read Who Ate My Cheese. Read it. Now, I want to tell you just a few things about it, because like the person that gave it to me, and I missed his name before, his name was Mike Medina. Mike Medina he was a counselor for me at a treatment facility that I went to. And it was the second time I was in this facility, and I didn't have Mike the first time. I had another man named Jack. I love Jack to death, because Jack had the way. But Mike Medina is a bulldog, and he will bring it to you, and he'll make you do it. Jack was great, but Mike was greater, because Mike made me realize what my cheese was. He made it. And so like the book, it had 4 characters. 4 characters I'll never forget. Sniff and Scurry, and Him and Haw. That's a hell of a name. Those are 4 names you never remember. But I'm telling you, Him and Haw, Sniff and Scurry. Sniff and Scurry were 2 rats, 2 mice, and Him and Haw were 2 other mice. And they lived in this maze. The maze where they lived at, they had a room full of cheese. Room full. And they ventured outside the maze every once in a while, but they always went far enough to where they knew how to get back. So Snip and Scurry were sitting there, and they said, well, we're not going to sit here anymore with you guys. We're going to go out and venture out and see what's up. So Henry Hall said, you guys go ahead. We got plenty of cheese sitting right here. We're going to sit right here and we'll be fine. Well, they knew that Snip and Scurry knew that the cheese was going to run out sooner or later. So they had to find another way. They had to find another way to get it. They had to find it. And so like they went and ventured out into the maze. They got lost. Like he was lost in the world. He was running. They went.
Wilson that was lost, or
yeah,
Chuck?
Chuck was lost. He went
Okay.
everywhere. Because he was everywhere. He was doing this. He was going in and out, opening doors. It wouldn't open. He got slammed on. It was cold. They would got rained on. They couldn't find no shelter. Bits and pieces of cheese were laying around someplace, and they started trying to find it. Then all of a sudden, they went and they opened it. They found this door, the one door in the maze, and they opened it up. And lo and behold, there was more cheese than they could ever think about. More cheese than anybody in the world ever had. They found it. It felt like Sniff and Scurry said, well, listen, we need to go tell him and all that we found some more cheese. And they can come stay. They can come here with us. If they won't come. Because they think they got enough. So they spent the night there. And so then they tried to find their way back to him and all. And circled, but they dropped bits and pieces of cheese from the big where they found it. They dropped bits and pieces so they get back. They did so they wouldn't get too
So
far.
they themselves a breadcrumb trail kind of thing.
So
Only had more cheese. Okay.
yeah, so they can get back. So they get back. Well,
You haven't told me all this much about the story.
it's great. It's great. So they make it back to him and home. They make it back. Him and Hoy, they're not leaving. They're staying right where they're at. They're almost gonna be starving here in a few weeks. And then they ask Mr. Curry, why don't you guys stay here with us and we can go out and look for some cheese or something like that. And Smith and Scurry comes and said, hey, we know where it is. We know where it is. You need to come with us. And they said, no, we ain't going with you because we know there's gonna be more cheese here sooner or later. It's gonna come. Moral of the story is it never came. Smith and Scurry went back to the place. Got fat, laid back, rolled around. Him and Hall today, I'm pray for them. They're just the moral of the story is that him and Hall with me. I never wanted to venture out and try to find it. But I ventured out and I found it. And then so Mike Medina asked me this. This was 2 weeks before I graduated. Because he made me read that book 9 times. Every day in class, he would ask me, he said, do you know what your cheese is? Do you know what your cheese is? And I said, well, no. I said, well, I think it's being able to walk. He said, no, go read it again. Go read it again. And there's 8 people in my class, and they're all waiting because they know I'm going to graduate. Then Mike says, you're not going to graduate until you tell me what your cheese is. I'm saying, man, what do you mean? I said, I've already know. He says, you got to know what your cheese is. 2 days before graduation, I was laying in my bed and I still have this little bitty book. This is a children's book. I read it 9 times. And then I found out what my cheese was. And Mike asked me, he says, you know what it is. You just have to say it. You have to say it. What is your cheese? My cheese is my family. My cheese is anything that has to do with my family. My kids, my grandkids, my mom's grave, my uncles, my aunts, my family. That's
So
what
your cheese is your focus, your cheese is what's important to you, your cheese is, how would you describe it? If somebody is looking for their cheese,
you got
how
to
would you
figure
tell
out.
them
You have to figure out what's more important to you. You have to figure it out. Is it more important to you to try to find it or just sit back and think that it's going to find you? It's not going to find you because you're not going to give it a chance to find you. You got to go get it. You have to go get it. Moral of the story is that's what I'm doing today. I'm still trying to get it, but I got a grip of it. I got a hold of it right here because like I know who's with me and I know who's directing me And I also know that, lo and behold, I know where my cheese is today. I know where it is. And I have a lot of it. I have a lot of it. And it's a great thing to know that I have a lot of it, because without it, without knowing what I had, or knowing what I want, or knowing what I'm getting, I wouldn't have this person here. I wouldn't have my friend in Ohio. I wouldn't have my friend Mike. I wouldn't have a lawyer. I
You
wouldn't
wouldn't be rebuilding your relationship with your children.
I've already said I wouldn't even have my kids. I wouldn't have my grandkids.
Mhm.
I wouldn't even have my 2-year-old grandson that's Dorian, that's got ready to be 2 in December. And he's so little. And he was the first one I got to hold when out of all my grandkids, he was the only one. Tyler let me hold him when he came out of the womb. I just right there to hand it to him. That's cheese. That's cheese. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. I said this before, I think on this show, and I'm gonna say it, if you die with 5 friends in your life, if you die with 5 friends in your life, real friends, tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear, you're very lucky. I got 3. That's all my family. I got 3 outside that I know will be there for me if something goes wrong with me. Right, wrong, or different. I've showed just enough of behind what I'm trying to do today that somebody believes in Wilson. They don't hear Chuck, they hear Wilson. And they know Wilson's capable because he's showing it every day.
Mhm.
He's showing it every day. He might be flirtatious. He might be happy-go-lucky at times, but when it all boils down to it, really, the real Wilson is the one. He's the real McCoy. I love Wilson. I love Wilson more than I love anybody. I love myself more today than I ever had in my life, because like I know where I'm at. I know what I'm trying to do, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I've never seen the ocean. I told everybody this before, I think. Wilson's going to see the ocean. You can believe that. Trust me. I don't care who it is with, whatever, I'm going to go see the ocean. I'm going to let my toes run into the sand and just stand there and look at it. But that's something it's a bucket list, but it's not a drop in the bucket. It's a real bucket. I'm going sooner or later. Sooner or later. Time's on my side though, because see, like, as long as I continue to do what I'm doing today, tomorrow will be great. And God's going to prepare a way for you. He's a way maker. He's a way maker. He really is. He's showing me the way with the help of.
And even all the bad stuff that's happened, he was still making a way,
He was
because,
letting you see it.
well, it's letting you see it, but, so I've had, you were saying earlier about, giving back and helping others. And I know I've heard from folks, it's like, well, I'm not perfect. I don't have this, I don't have that. So how can I help anybody else? It's like, you and I have very different backgrounds and very different experiences. So if somebody were to come in and say, hey, Teresa, and I'm trying to coach them and maybe help them get employment or help them move forward. And they're like, you've never been in jail. You don't know what it's like. It's like, you're right. So that, how can I connect with that person and really connect with them and help them when they can't see a way out where you can? Because you can say, hey, dude, I've been there. I'm on the other side and I can help you get here. I can't say that to them because I haven't been on that side. I've had other experiences. I've been through other things that you haven't. And that's cool, because that way we can reach people. I can reach people that you maybe can't, and you can connect with people that I can't, and
Yep.
everybody else that's out there.
Yep.
You can connect with people that maybe you're the only one that can connect with them. I mean, like, I've always wanted to have a vision in both eyes. Okay, so I've never had vision in my left eye. I've got a prosthetic. And I can't tell you how many years I prayed that God would heal that, and he didn't. And he hasn't. I mean, it doesn't mean that at some point he still won't, but I had, there was a lady at church, Renetta, and her grandson had a brain tumor that they ended up having to remove that eye. And she was all kinds of freaked out, which freaked out may not be a great word for it. But anyway, she was very concerned. You know, what's it going to be like with one eye? What's it going to be like with a prosthetic? How's he going to learn to drive? How's he going to learn to do this or that? And I was the only one that was able to sit down with her and say, this is how you walk down a flight of stairs without falling. Because people don't understand this, but when you have vision in one eye and that's all you've ever had, so your brain never learned depth perception, a flight of stairs looks like a flat floor with lines on it. It does not look like it's going down. I can't tell you how far down it is. My mom loves to tell this story, which I absolutely hate because it feels like she's making fun of my disability, about when I was a little kid jumping off a magazine that was like this high, and that I was so proud of myself as if I had jumped off of, you know, the kitchen counter. But what she doesn't understand is that to me, that magazine, the couch, the bed, the table, the countertop, it didn't matter what I was standing on. It all looked just as far down because I couldn't tell the difference. But there was nobody else that could sit down with this woman and explain to her what was going on and how it happens when your eye gets matty. Why does it do that? How do you take care of this prosthetic? How do you figure out, you know, how does he learn how to drive? How does he learn how to walk down a flight of stairs without falling or pour a drink and not miss? Things that most people don't even think about. And nobody else was able to connect with her but me. And it was because of everything I'd been through. So even though I've been through a lot of stuff, it's a Christian TV show, so I'll keep it clean. Even though I've been through a lot of stuff, it has made me who I am, and it has allowed me to be prepared to connect with somebody else who is going through that, and they need somebody that nobody else can really relate to the pain or the struggles or whatever.
You know, Teresa, we're the same, just in a different light, just in a different way.
Oh yeah,
And
we got a lot of similarities. We have a lot of differences. We have a lot of similarities.
Yeah, but there's a lot there. And within that, the whole meaning behind this right here is, do you see that? But at the same time, I help her.
Yep.
And that's why we're where we're at right now, because we're trying to reach you guys out there to know that you count. You do count. You just have to know that you count.
And no matter how inadequate you feel or incapable you feel or how much you're struggling, helping someone else will bring you way more joy than almost anything.
You'll be so happy. I'm going to tell you this, if I don't know if this is the last of it or not, but I'll be honest with you today. Most of all the stuff that you heard me say, what she said, I can never keep anything. I can't keep anything that I got unless I give it away. I cannot keep none of it. I wouldn't have family. I wouldn't have a job. I wouldn't have cars. If I don't give back what I know to somebody that's less fortunate than me, what am I keeping it for? I can't take it with me. And if I do take it with me, who's gonna get it? God put you here for a reason. And I'm going back to God now. Those that believe and those that don't, it doesn't matter. You have to understand that there's a reason why you're where you're at. My cousin, Teresa, this one right here helped me get a car to go see my cousin for the last time. We buried him. He was 59 years old. But you know what? There were so many people there to see him. But you know what? All those people, they really saw me because they knew who I was. I hadn't been there so long that it was like, and I thought to myself, you know, a lot of people, there's going to be twice as many that are going to be passed. But at the same time, I want to make sure that I do everything in my power in my power to know that Wilson did good. And they say good things about Wilson, and they say good things about his family. And then somebody can say, Wilson helped me. Wilson gave me some kind of insight on how to go, what to do, when to do it, how to say it. And I want them to give it to somebody, because then once they keep giving it, and it dominoes, it grows, it grows. This stuff between me and this woman right here, there's a lot of knowledge here, and there's a lot of things that she's been through that I don't know about, and there's a lot of things I've been through that she don't know about. But pretty much, the end result is she's there to help, and I'm there to help. Now that doesn't mean that we always come up with the right answers or whatever stuff. You know, we're good listeners as well as good talkers, but at the same time, you have to be willing. You just have to be willing to try. That's all I ask. That's all I ask you to do, is just give us a look and try. Because if you don't try, you'll never know. You never know.
And when it comes to helping someone less fortunate, that doesn't necessarily mean that their pocketbook has less money in it than yours. I mean, I'm going through a divorce right now and trying to get the house sold. There are folks who have been through that have been able to help me and reassure me that things will be better on the other side. Just a little bumpy right now. In some regards, I am less fortunate, one of those, because there are some struggles that I'm going through. So when we say helping someone who's less fortunate, it doesn't just mean the person at the check register that can't afford the groceries for their family. It's, you know, whoever's going through some kind of struggle, and especially if you've been there and can give them some encouragement, some support, if they want it, some advice or suggestions. I mean, they have to make their own decision, but, or if you haven't been through it, maybe you're just a listening ear and they need somebody that they can vent to. So just be willing to and be open to whoever God puts in your path, and be aware of and be paying attention so that when those opportunities arise, that you can take advantage of them. But first, you have to be looking for them in order to be able to see them.
Key word is willing. You have to be willing. You have to get out of self, and you have to be willing to put yourself in the other person's place, and then know where you came from, and then know where you are, and try to help them get where they're going. I mean, undoubtedly, there's going to be those that you reach, and there's those that you won't. But
that's like planting seed on the different kinds of soil.
You have to.
Yep.
You have to. You have to do it. You know, what is it? You said seed.
On the 4 kinds of soil.
Yeah, the rock, dirt. Yeah, there's some that's going to get it. Some of them is going to take root and go.
Some are going to get it, drop it. Some aren't going to get it at all.
Yeah, some it's going to blow away. Some of it's going to blow away. It's going to go in one ear and out the other.
But keep planting those seeds. You never know.
Yeah, this has been a good time for me. Yeah. One thing about it, I'm going to say this: I'll be back, and I'm sure there will be other things to tell you about that are more miraculous than what has happened.
Thank you for joining us here on Financial Fix. See you again next week.